All right. Hello, hello. I am super excited to invite a friend on here. We're going to have a little chat with you guys today about just relaunching your business. Let me bring Susan on here. All right. All right. Looks like she's adding.
Hi.
Hey. Okay, so Susan and I wanted to put together a video today because as LaBelle continues to grow, we've been able to really reach a lot of people with this product, with the Thrive Experience. And not everyone, when they fall in love with their Thrive Experience, chooses to promote. Maybe you even click the promoter button and because it was free to do that. And maybe you earned your first little bonuses just because you had a vacation coming up, or you kind of wanted to share with some people and make a little extra cash. But as time has gone on, you're like, hang on a second, I haven't ever truly worked this business. I love Thrive. Or maybe you're in a place where you're like, okay, yeah, I love Thrive, and I haven't been taking it and I miss it. And this is stupid that I'm watching all these other people around me improve their family situation financially, or they're making huge gains physically. I'm seeing the changes that they're making. I deserve to make those changes. I'm tired of just running around like crazy and exhausting myself. And I want to live the thriving life like my friends are living. Where do I start? So that's kind of what we want to talk to you guys about today. What's super funny is Susan, I asked Susan to do this, and she had to run over to the car dealership that she used to work for, and before she went full-time with LaBelle. And she told me she's actually, well, you tell them, where are you sitting right now?
So I had to come to the dealership today because I was getting Mike's oil changed, and I always bring my computer and do everything while in the waiting room.
Right.
But I needed to do this video conference with you, so I couldn't be in the waiting room. So I was like, hey, is anybody using my old office? Nobody's been in this office in almost 3 years. So I am sitting at my old desk. Everything. You talk about serious flashback. And it's going to be really funny when somebody walks by and they're going to go, what is Susan doing? Hi. Somebody just did. And so, and then the service people, they came in because they needed to ask me something. And they said, where'd Susan go? And the receptionist, she's like, she's in her old office. So it's like,
I love that.
A little creepy.
I love that you still have such a good relationship with them. That's how it's supposed to be. But okay, so let's talk a little bit. And we haven't really planned this out. We just thought we would throw a video together, and that way when somebody asks, I'm ready to relaunch, what do I do? We could refer you to this. Obviously, there's going to be other pieces to the puzzle, and the main thing is for you to really be connecting in this business, whether it's the person that brought you into this business. If you can go into your cloud office, if you forgot how to log in, you can actually do a password reset, and it'll email you a password reset, log right back in. You can go to My Team and click Upline, and you're going to see who, your two upline are. But also you can always go to leader updates. The 80Ks and above can post leader updates in there, or actually 40K and above. So you'll kind of see who some leaders are that you definitely want to connect with. And we have a huge thriving community of support, but honestly, it's your decision to get going and get started and then connect. So number one, I say you got to take your 3 steps. Like, you can't build a business here if you don't love it. And I know that's probably a really bold statement, but you got to have this product in your body. I swear there's a dose of motivation in those capsules. I truly, truly, truly wake up and thrive every day because I like the Maria that thrives. And so does my family. And it's what has allowed me to have a confident and meaningful conversation with someone that's complaining about the rat race of life. We're all busy and we're working hard, and we have craziness coming at us every which direction. And life is not easy. Thrive doesn't make life, perfect. It doesn't mean life won't be thrown at you. It just makes it easier for you to handle the craziness that's thrown your way. So number one is get on your 3 steps. I don't know if you guys even know about Thrive 2.0, but we've actually improved our delivery system. So we didn't change formula, but we enhanced delivery, which your absorption is key in results. So number one, you gotta get on some product. So get your order in and get yourself thriving. Then you've got to let people know you're still thriving. And Susan, let's talk a little bit about this. I mean, I always say honesty is the best policy. You know, if life happened, you know, be honest with why you quit talking about Thrive. Or if you never talked about Thrive anyway, be honest with that. You know, call a friend, make a post. I got a confession to make. I found this product 2 years ago and I've totally kept it to myself, but I just realized I'm being super selfish and I have so many friends that need this. So, you know, if you're looking to feel like $1,000,000, we need to chat ASAP or something like that. If you don't even necessarily have to post your DFT in your first, you know, post on Facebook, or that, you know, you can, or a text or whatever it may be. You know, you can pique their interest. That's good. You want to pique people's interest because you want to know who's interested. What about falling off the wagon? I mean, Susan, what would you say, you know, somebody that was gung-ho Thrive and then they literally had like a whole week where every single person they sent a message to said no or ignored them. Or maybe they had somebody just be really crappy to them. Talk to us about what you would recommend in that situation.
I think it's almost kind of the same thing. Let's kind of go at this 2 ways. What if you have been thriving all along? You never quit taking your product. So you still have the A1 marketing tool. You love the product. Mm-hmm. If you've got that, you've got what it takes to make this work.
Exactly.
So let's talk about people who have been thriving all along. You were gung-ho, you went all in 100%, but 5 people told you no, and you just couldn't handle that rejection. It just wasn't a good time for you. But yet all along, you've still been thriving, so you still love it. Mm-hmm. I would circle back and say, for those of you who didn't start thriving with me 2 years ago or whenever, guys, I'm telling you, I'm still doing it. I'm still loving it. I love how you start everything, though, with I have a confession to make. That totally will perk people's interest. From a marketing standpoint, it's going to perk their interest. So you want people engaged in your conversation. Mm-hmm. But it's the same way you and I deal with this. We have been gung-ho all along. We got those rejections 2 years ago. Now those people are thriving with us.
Right.
So, you know, it's okay to circle back to those people that did that. But I think a lot of times when people are ready to do this, and maybe they've been thriving all along, but they haven't really worked it as a business, immediately they kind of get shut down and they're like, well, it's not really going to work, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's not really true. You've got to power through that. Mm-hmm. Go back to what you know. What do you know? You know the products work because you've been doing it all along.
Right.
So I love the simple little engaging posts like that, but we also need to remember, everybody, that not everybody sees your posts.
People don't.
So even if no, they don't. So that's great to do. But honestly, we all know how we built this business is reaching out to people personally. Mm-hmm. People need to know that you care about them. So send them a little message. My favorite thing to do is a voice memo that basically says that same thing. I love to do that. You know, we need to chat ASAP, or you just try to call them. Mm-hmm. By all means, you haven't been talking about Thrive for 2 years, so they're not going to think you're calling to sell them something when you call them.
Right.
Right. So pick up the phone.
Yes. Pick up the phone and communicate. And the thing is too, is, you know, you have to start moving forward. Right. Because, and you guys are going to see me talk about this a lot. It was just a revelation that I had. And it's that whole, you know, an object at rest stays at rest. And unless there's a force that moves it, but an object in motion stays in motion. So Susan and I are in motion. We've been in motion. We stay in motion. You've been at rest until you watch this video. So this is the force that's going to get you going, but you've just got to move. And here's the thing. You're going to learn as you go, and you learn through action. If you have free accounts, number one, go back through all those people that once upon a time allowed you to create a free account and just say, hey, I just want to check in with you. You know, I know you let me create you a free account 2 years ago. I am still thriving. You know, this is what it's done for me. I know this is a busy time of year with kids and spring sports. And I just wanted to reach out and just say, hey, you know, are you ready to give this a whirl? I'd love to update you on what's new with Thrive. And then guys, we have a whole new YouTube channel. I mean, new stories are coming out all the time. Thrive 2.0. I mean, this is all new stuff for existing people, much less people that haven't, you know, been with us and in the grind with us, you know, for a while. So your free accounts is huge, guys. And then you just start making your list. You know, just because you haven't made a Facebook post in 2 years doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden, you know, only rely on Facebook. You know, make some little post about why you're grateful for your Thrive today, but start going through those lists and reignite some relationships with people. You know, if you haven't talked to someone in 5 years, it's not a good idea just to send them a message and say, hey, you ready to thrive with me? Like, that's no. The people like Susan, who did you and I reach out to when we first started? We reached out to the people that we talked to, that we knew enough about them. We knew enough about them to have a conversation. Like, you and I have known each other long enough that even though we lived in different parts of Texas at the time, we hadn't talked on a daily basis forever. You know, we were Facebook friends. We really kind of had to catch up anyway, but I knew you enough I knew you had headaches. I knew you had taken supplements before. I knew you were a busy single mom. So it was a conversation I could have with you. I think, guys, that is the key. When you're reaching out to people, you're reaching out to people you have relationships with. It's not necessarily the people you see every day, because I don't know about you, Susan, but what I've found is the people I actually see the most face-to-face are kind of the biggest skeptics. But like the friend from elementary school or the high school friend or the grad school friend or the lady I used to work with or whatever, those are more open, you know?
Right.
So it's about reaching out and connecting and then just starting. One of the things that we also have is we have our calendar challenge group. We created that a long time ago. Susan actually inspired that whole idea. She created one for her team first. I followed suit. It's been around since January 2016. And it's just little daily challenges. You can ask your upline to add you to that group, but start participating in it. Okay. If you guys haven't noticed, we do a lot of Facebook Lives now. We do a lot more video type stuff. We do still have weekly calls. We have team calls. We have friends and family calls. But we've just kind of evolved with technology. But we like talking to people and connecting, and video is kind of how that's happening right now, especially in the land of Facebook and all that good stuff. So, you know, connect. But the main thing is you want to be consistent. I actually asked, I'm going to read some of these and I'm going to let Susan kind of give her input. I asked some of our 200Ks, you know, what are some tips for someone that's, you know, just getting back started? Allie Taylor said, keep it simple in GPOT. She said, you've got to just go get people on Thrive. And guys, how do you get people on Thrive? Well, you have to expose people to the experience, but you've got to listen for who's telling you they need it. You know, who are you seeing on Instagram that is super busy because spring sports just started, you know, whether it be soccer or you know, baseball, or, you know, I don't know, they're just track season, you know, kids are what keep us busy, right? And work. But, you know, they're going to tell you that they need this. So, again, when you're thriving and you're plugged into the stories, you know, that's another thing too. Spend some time on Lavelle's YouTube channel and just watch those thrivers talk about what Thrive has done for them. It's going to remind you.
I'm going to feed off of that because you said that GPOT, and like somebody who hasn't been thriving would be like, what the heck is GPOT?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad you said that. It's get people on Thrive. Go back to what you know you love this product. So here's something I always say to people. It's the most simple product to ever take, right? It's the easiest thing to do. It can also be the most simple business you ever do. If at any point you are so completely overwhelmed, something's not going right.
Right.
So back up, breathe. And the calendar challenge thing, obviously I love that because I didn't have to try to remember or think about every day the things that I needed to do to get this business going. I was super busy. Mm-hmm. But guys, if y'all aren't on my team page, but most of you aren't, but I sometimes flip through an entire binder of all the calendar challenge sheets that I've had over the last 3 years. And that's how I was able to build a business. It's so simple. It's little check marks. Some days it looks really rough and some days it comes out real pretty, but it's something that I can go, okay, I'm super busy, but I know I need to send a message to 3 people. I know I need to go post a Lavelle story. If you even let that overwhelm you, you need to just take a step back. Keep it super simple. And they're right about that, because the minute somebody feels overwhelmed, you're going to lose them. Mm-hmm. They're going to drop out. If you're all of a sudden trying to get one of your previous thrivers to like start doing the business again, and you start throwing them in all these groups and you start telling them they've got to do these 15 things on the first day, you're going to lose them. Mm-mm. So slide that little sheet through their email, tell them to print it off, put a date at the top and say, okay, here's where we're going to start. Right. Here's what we're going to do.
Right.
And then send, it's super, super easy.
Yeah. And the thing is that as you start doing and just reaching out or hopping on a call or sharing a story, mm-hmm. The main thing you got to get somebody thriving with you fast, because that right there sets you up for success. Remember, in the first 2 weeks, we have a VIP bonus. Try to do that all over again. Come in and say, okay, I know I'm not eligible for the company to pay me that bonus in my first 14 days, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to go get two people thriving with me that order as customers. I'm going to get another 2 that thrive with me that decide to order as promoters. And I'm going to go VIP 800 all over again. And that just gives you a foundation to start with. And then you just kind of proceed on through the whole business plan that we have. Dana Chuba said, definitely make sure they're doing the 3 steps daily. Focus on new people and not on current people, as that might have been what made you fall behind. If your team wasn't motivated, if they weren't feeling it, if life was hitting them hard and they just weren't too excited, don't dwell on them. You want to work with excited people, and you can't control the mindset of someone else. You can encourage and you can let them know what you're doing and what you're excited about. But just because you flipped a switch to now be excited again doesn't mean that the people that were following you before are going to do that in the same time frame. Odds are that's not going to happen. So you're looking for people that literally are going to bed tonight praying for an answer, because you've got their answer. Okay. Mindset, don't compare yourself. You can't compare yourself. You can't do it. This is your journey. You want to be grateful for your new beginning. You want to be grateful that it's not too late, that you didn't wait too long. And you want to be excited. Don't waste time on social media. If you're on social media, you want to be using it to talk with people that are not yet thriving, to build those relationships, to listen to people that are searching for an answer. When someone posts about having a headache, that's your opening. It's you've got to listen. People will tell you what they need. Let's see. Oh, a lot of it, somebody said, I feel like, Kristen Hodge said, I feel like people care too much about other people's opinions, and they try to use their own way instead of the funnel. So our funnel is basically, it's giving people information in multiple ways. I mean, the main thing that we build a business is by getting people on Thrive. Thrive creates the stories for people, but we have to get Thrive in people's bodies. So we've got to provide the validation. And they can't even order if we don't have a free account created. So, don't worry about what other people are thinking. Here's the thing. Regardless of what you do, somebody's going to have a negative thought. I mean, if you make a post that says that you and your family are going to Hawaii for 2 weeks, somebody's going to have a problem with that. Would that keep you, though, from taking your family to Hawaii for 2 weeks? No. So, I don't ever have a cockiness with my friends and followers, but I have a confidence in what I'm doing is a good thing for me and my family. And here's the thing, as you continue to get people thriving with you, your confidence is going to grow like crazy because the stories are just going to continue. And then your life is going to be different, and you're going to not want to go back to where you were before. And that's a really good reminder for me. You know, people ask all the time, how do you stay motivated, Maria? I'm like, my future is what motivates me. You know, I don't ever want to go back to where I was before. I've got a lot of living left to do. I want to continue to live out loud with my family. I want options for the rest of my life. I want my family to have options. I want to continue to model for my children that you can truly, you know, you can make a living, living your life and pursuing your passions. You can get paid for that. And I love that we're able to model that and just kind of break that status quo of just building somebody else's dream. It's time for you to build yours. Obviously, you wouldn't be watching this video if you hadn't made that decision. So it's all about action. I mean, it's about thriving. It's about thriving out loud. Don't go on and all of a sudden have every post on your Facebook page be about thrive. I'm going to give you a ratio of 9 family posts to every 1, or family or life or dog, or I don't know, whatever you share on Facebook. 9 posts to every 1 thrive post. I'm going to give you a ratio. We're trying something new, and I think that's actually going to allow you to reach a lot more people when you do that. But remember, Facebook, there's very little traffic on that news feed. Your friends, they've got their phone in their hand. You know, they're checking their email every day. They're looking at their messenger inbox. Send them a text, send them that voice memo, let them know what you're doing. Listen for people.
Because that stuff is personal.
It's personal.
That's personal. And that's what they want.
And Susan, that's why you reached out. I mean, that's why you started thriving with me. I mean, if some random person had messaged you about Thrive, it would have taken a lot longer for you to say yes. I do believe you would have said yes, but I do think it would have taken you a lot more validation than it did with me. You knew me. So guys, are you approach your friends with meaningfulness, not just a sell. This is about so much more than a sell. And this is what has set this company apart from everything else. This is the only company with the emotions that we have here. People are crazy passionate because this product has truly impacted their quality of life. And that right there is what we run with. So start moving, start copycatting. Who are the most successful leaders on your team that you follow, that you connect with? You know, if they make a post about something, don't literally do the exact same thing. I mean, if it's their own thought, come on, you got to give them credit for their own thought, right? But if they're posting about the 1, 2, 3 and you like their verbiage, or you like their graphic and you know it's a Lavelle graphic, or, you know, whatever, tweak things on your own, be inspired by them, but it's okay to copy. It's okay to follow the leader, you know, just don't, you guys know what I mean. Like, don't do it the wrong way, do it the right way, but use that as your inspiration. And just, again, it's keeping moving forward. You're always moving forward. Always moving forward. That right there is what's going to help you get on the right path. And stay plugged in with us. You know, where's the next local that's maybe in your area? Go to it. If you have to go by yourself, go by yourself. If you can take a friend, even better. Go to dinner beforehand or something. Any last closing thoughts, Susan, that we need to cover?
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on that. So, you know, we go back to somebody who maybe tried this and it didn't work, and now they're trying to do it again for whatever reason. Your confidence level is huge, and Maria just kind of talked about that. So I promise you, when you have 2 people thriving with you and you're getting your products for free or whatever, but their stories start coming back to you, you're like, heck yeah, that's awesome. And so it'll drive you to do more. Now, here's something I always like to tell everybody. If you look at that calendar challenge sheet, or mine at least, probably the top 3 things are getting this in the right place. So because I'm sorry, guys, we just live in a negative world, and you kind of want to get that armor on. You're ready. So if your mind is full here and you're good here, when you do get somebody who ignores you or rejects you or says, no, I tried that before and it doesn't work, whatever, you're okay with it. But here's something that's super important. There will be weeks where you have reached out to 50 people. Let's say you've reached out to 50 people and nothing happened. But then the next week you reach out to 50 more or whatever your number is going to be. And 1 or 2 of those happen. Well, guess what? 1 or 2 from the week before start rolling in. Mm-hmm. That's the whole motion thing that Maria is talking about. Mm-hmm. That's why when you take 2 weeks off, it may not affect you that following week, but it'll probably affect you 2 weeks down the road. Mm-hmm. You've got to keep it going. Again, that's a marketing background too. Mm-hmm. You've got to keep the ball rolling at all times for it to always be trickling in.
Right.
But that also builds your confidence. Mm-hmm. And Jennifer Zant and I were having this conversation last night. If you are in a funk when you get up to start this business that day, does not mean you get to take off. If you want to make this business work, you've got to do something every single day. It is a part-time job, but it is not a some of the time job. You've got to do something every day. Mm-hmm. So if your brain is not in the right place, it doesn't mean you get to take off from Thrive. That means you need to go read 3 Lavelle stories or get on the YouTube thing or watch the 60 Seconds to Success. Engage with people who understand what you're doing and what you do and be like, okay, now I'm ready to go.
I got this.
And so,
it's not instant gratification. You know, that's another thing too. A lot of times people just expect instant gratification. And guys, you know, you starting right now, you know, you've had some time off. So see, we got to get some motion happening, right?
Yeah.
So it may take a consistent 30 days of really truly being committed, you know, before you start seeing the fruit of your efforts. But it's kind of like when I was talking about the garden. You know, you plant the seeds and then you got to water it, right? And then you have to, you know, there's going to be some times where there's going to be some weeds growing around, right? You got to weed out basically all that. That's the negativity. Okay. If you just, you know, even if you plant the garden and the seeds start to sprout and you've got some growth, but then you neglect that garden, everything's going to die. Mm-hmm. You just have to keep going back there and tending to it and picking the weeds and making sure, you know, maybe put a little fertilizer out there or whatever, you know, and then you're going to see the fruit of your efforts. So it's not instant gratification, but you should, when you start moving and really plugging into us, before that first order comes in or that paycheck comes in, you should start getting some free accounts, but your heart should start being a little bit more full because you're plugged into what we're doing here and we have good things happening. We have good stories, guys. If you could only see, I mean, I wish every single one of you could see what I've seen. If I could just give you 15 minutes to see what I've seen in 4.5 years, you would never stop going out there and planting the seeds and taking care of that garden. You wouldn't, because you would know that this truly is impacting people's lives across the globe. This is going to continue to do so for another 20 plus years. And you want to be able to say, this is what this meant for my family because I said yes and I kept going and I didn't stop. And I made a decision that day. And here I am. And you're going to be so proud with that. So, all right. With that, Susan, I think we'll just close this out. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think I'll stay sitting in this office and do my Thrive business here. Guys, I want to say something. When I got a lot of the negativity from people when I started this business, the one thing that always stuck in my mind, or let me rephrase that, when I decided to leave the corporate or this job and go do this full time, the negativity that came back, the thing that I could always put in the back of my mind is they're not paying my bills. So it's really up to me to make this happen and not fail and go forward and just do it. And so that's where my consistency comes in every day, because guys, though I loved the people that were at this dealership, they were my other family. They went through a lot of life with me. I don't regret that I don't have to sit in this office 8 to 5, 8 to 7, 8 to 8 anymore. I'm thankful they still let me come use it for my Thrive business now, which is kind of funny, but you know, I'm grateful that I still have that relationship with them, but I don't have to be here. So I think I'm grateful every day that Maria reached out to me and gave me the opportunity, and I'm glad that I ran with it. But we've watched a lot of people that didn't and now are. it just takes that motion. Just get started. And I say this all the time. If you will give it 30 to 60 to 90 days with your head down and do not let anything waver you, you will look up in 90 days and be like, wow, that was really easy. I did it. And then it's so much more fun to go forward. But you got to get the 30, 60, 90 days in and be willing to just go. By all means, reach up to the person that you're following and say, okay, I'm ready. Commit to them. They'll help you. They're not going to throw you out to the wolves and make you do it on your own. They want you to succeed. So thanks for letting me be on this call with you today.
You're welcome. You are welcome. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.